Welcome to Shays Spiritual Insights. Glad to have everyone here. We have some new faces. As always, before we start, I'm going to talk a little bit about a topic that we brought up last month. And it's definitely something that is happening. One of the things that's happening right now, we're in an energetic environment in the world, just phenomenal, energy-wise. And it's allowing us to have some of the deeper stuff that we have, you want to call it baggage, whatever it is, old buried stuff, that's pretty deep. And it's coming up now, and it's being released and processed through. And some of this stuff, for many people, is going to have been so buried and detached, it may not have we may not have any real connection with it consciously. So as it comes up, it's like stuff that's not even ours, it's just, and what'll happen is, as it gets processed through our energy field, things can show up in our lives, events can happen, and we may wonder like, wow, this is really weird stuff going on here. What's happening here? Or why is this happening? Or why am I feeling this way? Or whatever the event is. And it's good to know that this is the reason why it's happening. And the reason why it is happening is because as part of all of our life paths, this is the time where the energetic environment is such, as I mentioned, that it can actually be released. And this is the time for it to be released. So most of it will just be released and fall away. Some of it may get processed through our energy field, as we've talked about before. So if you wonder why these things happen, that's why it's happening. Now you're seeing it in the greater world, because the same thing is happening to our soul group. And because of that, what you're going to see is and you're seeing it out there for people who are not spiritually connected or grounded, who don't have a real good centering in their own life, and that's a lot of people, that you'll see a lot more of the acting out and kind of different stuff. So if you wonder why things look like the way they do out there, that's what's driving a lot of it, is all this old stuff coming up, being released. Old energies people don't know what to do with because they're not even familiar with them, and it causes various kinds of behavior. So with that, we have some new faces. Well, new, haven't seen for a while. A new one, Ivy, and Chris's friend, and now Pat. And I was told that you live in the Flathead, so we'll go around here in a minute. And Greg Ellis is with us too. And of course, we have Jessica and Eryn. And I'm not sure if Franny's going to show up. I never know with Franny. She can show up or not show up. So with that, let me write down some names here, because I always like to keep track of who's here. And with that, let us begin. And I'm going to start, if you're comfortable, and don't feel like you have to say something or ask anything. It's perfectly fine to pass. But we have Ivy here. If you introduce yourself and maybe tell us a little bit about why you're here, if you have any questions, anything at all. Oh, okay. Oh, your audio's off.
Hi guys, I'm Ivy.
Hello.
It's off again?
Yeah, now it's working. Yeah, your audio's
You
up.
can't hear me?
I can now. Yes.
Can you hear me
We just
now?
lost it again.
Okay. So Franny is running late, but she'll be on. You can't hear me?
There it goes.
Maybe I'm gonna be mute the whole time. I was just letting you know, Paula was on earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that she'll be back on, and Franny is gonna be late. She's on her way back from Whitefish, so she'll be late. I don't know. I was just interested in the group, and I wanted to join and see what it's about. I definitely understand everything you've been talking about so far.
All right.
Life is light, and it's getting quite interesting right now. So that's the best I can say.
All right. Well, yes, it is, and I'm glad. I'm glad you're here. And you're breaking up a little bit with the audio. I'm not sure. Sometimes that's because we use speakerphone. I use a microphone for that reason. My my one that comes with my camera doesn't always work as well. So anyway, well, glad you're here. And yes, things are interesting, and they're going to continue to ramp up some more. Just so everyone knows, this isn't the begin. This isn't the beginning, but it's also not the middle. So I'm not sure where the universe is going with it, but we'll find out. I would go to Pat next, but Pat always likes to be last. So we're going to go to Greg. Greg, tell us a little bit about, obviously we have new people here, so introduce just a quick introduction and then tell us a little bit about what's happening in your world.
Well, I woke up about 22 years ago. I was blessed to get to go to four of your retreats and would love to go to another one sometime, like maybe a fifth, becoming fully fifth dimensional or something like that. But since that's what we're all working on now, but I had an amazing 3-month adventure to Alaska this summer. Just got back last week, but we got to spend 3 different week-long trips out at the mine,
Mm-hmm.
and we made a discovery out there that, I mean, it's for all of us. It's I set aside the web address for goldforgold.org, so we're going to start loading that to help bring people's gifts forward, the gold out of each person. That's the mission. That's what the mine is for. We want to get an after school program going in the local village that we designed a walking village, holistic walking village plan for. They started building it like 18 years ago, and we're going to help them with a few more pieces of that as we get the mine moving forward. But this new discovery made this summer should give us an opportunity to produce a lot of revenue and help the village of Iliamna and other villages and other programs and things down here. Kind of, I've got a walking village or a little tiny house village that I designed here where I live in LaConner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here Tempera. I'm trying to find where I'm going to go, but I want to get this project underway. It's 8 tiny fourplexes,
Mm-hmm.
so 399 square foot units. So to be average like 3.25, but just because the building costs have gone up so much
Mm-hmm.
with tariffs and other things, but so this things are coming forward, getting some new funding programs and things are happening, and to do benevolent works, the things that I've been wanting to do in the world, it's finally happening. Finally got my car accident thing, at least the first half of it settled, and it took 10 years. It was kind of crazy how long, but at least all this stuff's moving forward now.
Well, that's
I,
wonderful. It sounds like things have happened since we last talked. So that's
yeah, I'm so
wonderful.
grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. Well, things are happening in your world. It's exciting to hear. And of course, as things progress and, next time we have one, if something's is an update, we'd love to hear it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. And we're going to go around again. So just so you know, we always do. And I'm going to see what Jessica has to say. I see that she popped in. So what's happening in your world, Jessica? Any questions? Any things to share? Love to hear it.
Hi. So I don't I mean, a lot of things seem to be shifting
Mm-hmm.
for the better. I don't know, we're moving our office down, and so we're getting big, a really big building. And
Mm-hmm.
so each of us gets our own office, from all sharing one little teeny tiny space to this huge gigantic space now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a cool thing. And um I don't know, things, just releasing a lot of old stuff and shifting and changing, and I don't know. So that's kind of where I am.
Yeah, you kind of are in the, I won't say beginnings. It's not the middle either. You're in a new phase of, we talked last time, like your being there is just because you're such a channel of light. It's a wonderful thing. But it's also because I'm going to say the ambiance energy, the ambient energy of the and work environment is raised enough. It's also allowing you to have some, I don't know, energies associated with work and interactions and that sort of thing to start coming up and be released. So be not dismayed about it if you're noticing them. It's time for them to go, so you can continue moving on, and that appears to be what you are indeed doing.
Right. So I'm at the beginning of it?
Not the beginning, but you're not in the middle either.
Oh, Lord.
I just want to let you know you're not quite the middle yet. You're a whole bunch of just, I want to say it's not particularly this or that or the other thing. You know, sometimes it's almost like a potpourri of things that it's time for us, the old baggage stuff that's been there. It's kind of got, you know, the stuffed closet routine we talk about, how things just get, it's not like they're stuck, but there's so much stuff there that it just stays. And now it's loosened up and able to flow because you're flowing. And your move to your new workspace is going to have some energetic, positive things with it too. There's some, you know, differences that you're going to notice when you're there, but it's going to allow you to expand some more. And one of the reasons is because you're going to get some of your own space.
Yeah, I think that'll be really nice.
It will. Yeah.
Awesome.
So anything else? I'm waiting. Any other things happening?
Not necessarily that I can think of. I mean, things are just shifting with like friends are like some friends are falling away and
Yeah.
things like that, just random things like that. But I do have a question about like something old that happened. Like when I was at my other job, we had a guy in there who was ended up being like a Ponzi scheme
Mm-hmm.
person, and then he disappeared. And we're just wondering, like, is he like dead or is he like still around somewhere?
I think he's still around somewhere, but things aren't as he is envisioning, and he does seem like someone who does that kind of thing, coming up with, I don't want to call it schemes, but coming up with innovative ideas that to take a shortcut to the end result. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Oh
pattern.
yeah,
It's a pattern in his life. It's nothing new, and it doesn't work. Yet he continues engaging in this behavior. So I'm not entirely, I guess he hasn't figured it out yet, but right now he's in between something. Um, and the problem that you have for people like him is that they come up with these ideas, and then if one doesn't work, they try the next level up idea, which can get them into trouble.
yeah.
And I think that's the direction he's heading.
And so, do you see him ever coming back, like us finding him?
There's a possibility, yes. It depends on what
Oh,
decisions, some decisions he's in the process or not quite in the middle of, but he's moving into some life path decisions where he can go a few different directions. And depending on what he does, yes, it's a possibility. But um, he is really getting closer to being ready to choose a path, stick with it, and build it in the normal way so that it grows organically within his own life. But he's not quite there yet.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
you see? Okay, so did you see something else that was going on with me that?
Yes, I was just going to mention it to you. You talked about being
Okay.
in the middle, and what you're doing is you're letting go of all the stuff. You're also, because we don't just release things, it's multiple things happen at the same time we've talked about. You're releasing old stuff and the energetic connections to them, and those things are tied to behaviors and attitudes and experiences in our life. As we release them, because we're ready to release them, we're ready to move on to higher connections, higher experiences. New connections are being made, and some old grounding points that were tied to those things are also being released, and new grounding points are being made. So we're kind of releasing, connecting, and reintegrating all at the same time. And you're right now more releasing, and you're still doing some integrating, but all this has to happen because you're moving into this next. We talked about this last time. You're moving into this next level, and it's interestingly tied to the timing with your building move. I always find it interesting how the universe, these things happen. These serendipitous events. So the intersection of multiple things in our life all seem to happen miraculously to make things evolve in a certain way. And that's what's happening. And it's happening organically, and it's happening kind of, I'm going to use the word smoothly. I don't want to say slowly. It's moving a little faster than you might be aware. But it's moving in that way, and it's a good thing. So
Okay.
you just keep flowing with it.
But you see me staying there with that
For a
company?
while, yes, that you've been asking about that is when you move to the new building, it's going to be different there. It feels like some changes are coming in. I'm not sure if it's just environmental or if it's going to be, some shifts in the organization itself, what it's doing and how it's doing it. But it's going to be a bit lighter there. And corresponding with that is going to be, and I don't know when this will happen, excuse me, some new opportunities coming in. It could be something outside the company that you currently are with, yes.
Okay.
But just let it evolve. It's going to happen.
Okay.
That's the direction you're going anyway. So, you're doing great.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Well, thank you for sharing. I love it. I love to hear what's happening with people.
Yeah.
All right. Eryn, hello. You're next on my screen, just the way the screen shows up. We never know what order things are going to be in, but I figure the universe knows. So hello, and what's happening?
Hi. Lots of stuff's happening, I feel like every day. I feel like more support is coming in, for me and for my daughter. And so I'm meeting new people and then I'm finding other resources to kind of confirm things that I've experienced in this past year. And that's pretty cool to just get validation for like the work that I've been doing and that I've been doing with her and she's been doing with me. And that it's actually like working to shift both of us. And yeah, I'm just getting new awarenesses about her gifts and what she is bringing in, and I don't know how to describe it. It's been a lot, but yeah, there's been a shift for the better, and yeah, I'm just getting like new awarenesses every day, and like the old patterns that I can see them, and I'm kind of like working through them, and yeah, it's just going pretty good.
Wow. And I can see if right now, and you're probably not telling you anything you don't know, but you're right. Some of this older stuff that's ready it doesn't serve you anymore, and the old patterns of operating that worked before but aren't for you now. And you're moving into a whole bunch of new. And in the coming period, it looks like, I'm going to say the universe, because that's what it feels like. The universe in part of your lifetime, but the universe is the active agent in this, is bringing in some new so that your relationship can evolve. And it's time for them to move more independently. I don't know how that'll happen or how fast that will happen, but that is definitely something that's coming into your energy field and consciousness. It's there.
Oh,
And it's because you have the attention to it and the focus on it and the openness, I don't know, the connection and seeking it's happening. And I think it will probably, I don't think isn't the right word. what I'm sensing or what I'm getting is that your continued engaging in this will make it continue to happen. Yeah, there's going to be some challenges coming up, but nothing that, won't be, how it is. When we first learn something, sometimes the problem seems a lot bigger than it is. Then after we have a little bit of time to process it, it's like, hold on, we can do this. And you're going to run into a few of those along the way. But it really is time for both of you and for your highest good to do this. Because there's things that each of you need to do in your own lives independently of each other, more so than has been happening in the past. And I feel like I'm telling you what you already know. I feel like that these are things you already know, but they want you to know that the universe is aware of it and you're engaging in it is a good thing, and just keep moving on it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm connecting with a couple of guys that are creating a village for veterans. That's what I call it, Veterans Village. And one of them, at least, said that she'll have a place there. And so, we'll see what comes of that and the timing and all of that. But it seems like a really cool place because they know about PTSD and trauma and things like that. But then also, like, she can facilitate them in those things as well. So yeah, and it's guys. So that will be cool because the engineers are going to be there, and intelligent people that she can work with to kind of bring her visions into reality as well. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, or something better. We'll see.
Well, there's going to be more beyond what, and it goes without saying. There's more coming. It's already in the stream. It's queued up. I'm going to call it queued up. It's not exactly queued. It's part of the incoming flow that's yet to come. And be exciting to see where this goes, because you know how things can move and shift and things like that.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, is there anything else, like, for me specifically? I know I focus a lot on her, like, me and her, but
I think this is for you too, because you're doing it for her, but it's also your own engaging, and that's part of what some of the things that are coming is that the energies that are associated with your own connection and moving on in your own way, right? You know how it is. We have to wrap up some things over here first and get them moving, and then concurrently with then as that's happening with her, then you can start processing some of the energies for you. And part of the challenge is going to be for you, and this is a low self thing, and it's very common with all of us, is that the subconscious has its patterns, and we have patterns from this life and previous ones that letting go of some stuff with her, associated with her. So, and it's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for her, and it'll allow each of those paths to then to manifest more. Holding on will restrict it. So, and I sense that when the time comes, you'll know it. It's just a matter of like, okay, now I got to make this happen. I got to do this thing. I got to, and in your own way, you'll figure out how to let go of it, maybe piece by piece, but it'll happen. And some deeper stuff will come in, and when it does, just ask for your higher guidance to show you. And because you're seeking, once we get in the flow and we stay in the flow, all kinds of things happen that don't happen when we're kind of waiting for the flow. So you're with the flow right now. And you've, you've really opened up to it. Your higher guidance knew you were ready for it, and all I can say is it's happening, which is wonderful.
okay. I feel like I'm going to India in November.
Could be. Yes.
We'll see. I mean, so many things are happening that is like, oh, I think this is, but we've got to put a few more pieces into place for me to be sure. I guess always when I'm on the plane, then I know I'm going.
Yeah, and I think part of it will have to do with all what we've just been talking about. Whether that's, you know, going away will take away from the energies, and then you'll have to, you know, kind of things will, you know, slow down or possibly stop, and you know that's something you're not wanting. And I sense that you're already aware, you know, I think you're aware of that too. So that's as it comes in, you'll know what's going to work and what's not. You know,
Mm.
you know, if a trip to India is really the time or not. And I do sense that yes, it is a possibility you're going there. So I don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah. Yep. We'll just have to see, but I'm enjoying it right now. So
Good. Wow. Well, I'm glad you were here. This is wonderful. All right. Is there
thank
anything
you.
else before we move on?
No, that's good.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you're here, and it's wonderful news. And the fact that things are flowing. I always love it when someone, including anybody, including myself, when we move into the flow, it's such a you just things are happening, and just as we keep letting it happen, the more that happens. So keep it up.
Okay.
All right. All right, Franny. Hello there. Are you there, Franny? And we'll give her a second or two, and then if she doesn't pop on, we're going to go to Marci next. All right, well, we'll wait for Franny. Marci, hello there. How are things in your world?
Hi. Interesting. We'll say interesting.
They're always interesting with you. It's always interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally concur with your introduction of, you know, all the stuff that doesn't make any sense, and
Yeah.
like from old energies and that, because I'm experiencing that with things that happen here. And yeah, that's what I came to, is it's not from necessarily this life. It's way other, I don't even know if it's from here.
It's
But
old patterns, and it could be from other universes and planets. Yes.
yeah, some of it just like there's no, not that everything has to be logical, but actually nothing really is logical. Oh, but yeah, it's been interesting. It feels like there was a lot going on, like being in a real elevated perspective, really expanded, and then that night my third eye did what it does, and you get kind of nauseated, but it went on all night. It went on all the next day. Wow. And then what happened was it was at night, it released, like the baggage you're talking about released, but it was like nothing I've ever had before. It was actual like whole abdomen cramping up. Mm-hmm. Like if you didn't know what it was, you'd think you were really sick. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, am I getting close to the bottom of what's in that closet?
Well, it's funny you say that, because Deborah and I often talk, and for those who don't know, Deborah's my wife, and we often talk about how much stuff is down there. So you're getting to some of the deeper stuff, and part of why some of the stuff doesn't come up is because we have to have the right energetic environment for that to happen, for that to be able to be released safely, so it can be processed out, brought into the light, dissolved, and a little bit of it gets processed through it, and we have those unusual experiences. But you let go of huge chunks, big pieces. I mean, big things, big 55-gallon garbage bags full of it. You know what I mean? Instead of the little pieces. So yeah. That's why you had some of that experience. When you were talking about it, they were showing me, and it's like, holy smokes, that's a lot. And so you're getting into some of the other deeper stuff, which is really good, because these things are so detached from who we are now, because we've evolved over the lifetimes, and I think maybe even say eons, to where we are now. And when the time is right, it'll get released, but it has to be right energetically for it to be. I don't want to use the word safe in a dangerous way, but I mean in a safe, healthy way for us to spiritually release it and continue on our path, which is what our higher guidance always strives to do for us. And that's what's happening with you. But you had a bunch of stuff be released.
Yeah.
I can see why
Yeah, I've never felt anything like it. I wouldn't even have known what it was if I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Is this still the environment to keep releasing, or is this part of the Hawaii thing to release more? Or
Believe it or not, I'm going to say yes to both. It's partially
okay.
Hawaii thing and partially this. And the energies are going to keep building because I haven't mentioned this before, and I've become recently aware of it, and I'm not meaning to digress, so we'll go back to what you're talking about. This energetic period we're in the world is going to hit, I don't want to call it a crescendo, that's not quite right, but it's going to hit an apex. It's going to keep moving up, and it's going to be moving, and then it's going to level off. And if I were to give a time frame, it looks like 2035 time frame is what it's going to start leveling off, and we're going to move into this whole new phase of things that's basically a plateau based on these new energies, and it's not going to be the same kinds of energies. So for all of us, our higher guidance is trying to use this period, however long it is. I don't know. It's hard to tell time on the inner plane, so don't lock in on 2035. Just saying something like that. Could be longer, could be shorter, but I think it'll probably, if anything, it'll be a little longer of this. But we're going to hit the plateau, and what all of us are doing is, this is the lifetime, as we've talked about, that all of us in this group and others in our extended family are wrapping this up in a bow to be done with these things so we can operate from this higher plateau. And that's what your higher guidance is doing as well. So that's why it's happening now, because it can happen. The opportunity from the universes and your higher guidance point of view said, hey, she can do this. This is a good time. And you did it. And you're continuing to do it. You got some more coming, some older stuff, just so you know. And it's different older stuff. It's going to be different yet again.
Okay. Yeah, there was I know what triggered it, I think. But it was like otherworldly kind of stuff that triggered it. So,
yep. Yeah. And more otherworldly, these other things are coming from when you were in another galaxy. I lived on planets and a group of planets in another galaxy over a period of lifetimes. And it has to do with that spectrum of learning you did then. And it was great then, but now that because of the newer, higher connections you have, you're operating from these higher connections, and those are no longer part of, they're kind of encumbering, if you will. They're almost like things that'll cause us to stumble rather than things that'll help us. So that's why it's coming up and being released. And it's going to happen rather rapidly too. Just so you know.
Okay.
Rapidly is a good word.
Okay. I don't mind as long as it happens at night when I'm in bed. That's great.
I don't control that. I think your higher guidance might have a little more to do with it. Your higher self. Talk to them. See if you can make an arrangement.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I guess I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's going to be. It's not going to be negative, but it's going to be some intensity sometimes, some oddness sometimes, some a little bumpy. But it'll be all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so you know.
The other thing I'm experiencing. Okay. The other thing I'm experiencing is like healing physical stuff, and it's like I know it's not linear. It's really obvious that this stuff's not linear, and but it's so weird because it's stuff that's like almost completely healed, and then it comes back around all over again. And so I'm just wondering, are you seeing anything on the physical level? Because I'm always guided just to trust and that it's nothing and it's just energy.
Well, it's manifesting on the physical level. And as we've talked about, that is far more prevalent with females because of the archetype of the female identity. Let's just leave it that. We've talked about it. I don't want to rehash it here. But you know, it's not linear, like you said. You know, when in if you get up above, when you're up there, there's linkages where the past causes the future causes the past, and the past causes some other alternate thing. There's this matrix kind of energetic thing with all the different aspects of ourselves that are tied together. So when one gets cleared, it opens another one, and it seems like, oh, why is that coming back? That's why it's coming back. And one of the reasons this is happening, and it's been happening for a little while for you, is because that's a much more rapid way of releasing things, but you have to be ready for randomness, and I'm using the word weirdness, but that seems like a good way of putting it, just oddness and how things happen.
Yeah.
And because you're ready for it and you're handling it and you're aware of it, that's a very important thing. It will continue to happen so long as it doesn't become overly disruptive from their point of view, and their being your higher guidance,
Okay.
your team. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I just keep falling back, and that's the best that I can do is just stay in the space.
Yeah.
And be with it.
Yeah, and all I have to share with you right now, and it's not me, it's your high self wants you to know, just keep flowing with this, okay? That's what she wants you to do.
Okay.
And she's being real circumspect.
Good, thank you.
She's not saying anything more. That's all she's not elaborating. So.
Yeah. I know, it's just like drip by drip on information.
I know,
That's
and they do
okay.
that on purpose too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's wonderful. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you were here. Boy, oh boy, wonderful. Okay, well, Paula showed up, and so you know what? It's so wonderful that you were able to be here, Paula. So if you're ready, we'd love to hear anything you have to share, anything at all. And I recommend going back and you probably will go back and watch the beginning, because we have some updates on things that are happening, and they definitely relate to you. I'll leave it at that.
Interesting. Well, thank you. And so I told I let Ivy know, please let him know I'm going to be late getting here. But I said, I've got to listen to the replay to hear Jeff's initial spot.
Yeah.
So I've had an interesting month, but what I was just told I should ask is, I'm feeling a little overdone. Like I'm just ready to not do all the work all the time on myself. And I'm wondering if that's just me being tired, or is it because I've got something big that's ready to be brought forward and it's bringing me a little trepidation?
A little bit of being tired. So I'll tell you, yeah, because you've been really busy. You've been doing all kinds of stuff, it looks like. This, that, and the other thing. And that kind of takes away from your energy. It ties into what we talked about at the beginning, which is some old energies that are coming up, and they're so buried. Now, I'm recapping her for everybody, that it'll seem like it's disconnected from a conscious level from anything patterns that we recognize. And that ties to, and that's why I said this ties to you. When we get to a certain point, we work on this area over here, and we work on this, and these are all linked together, but our conscious mind may not see it, the linkage. They seem like disparate things or separate things. But what happens is when we get to a certain point of interconnectedness at the intuitive inner level, we recognize how all these different things, it's like, oh, all these things are different versions of the same thing. I get it. And we're done with it. And that is where you are. You've got a whole plateau of stuff, and you're going to be processing it. You don't need to operate with it this way. You've interacted with it at the individual way. It's all kind of, you've had enough inner experience and spiritual work that now it's all connected within you, and you don't need to do it that way anymore. And so you're done with it, and just let it be done. It's going to flow away. Just now that you're aware of that, it'll go away even faster. It'll start flowing away. It'll be like a fog that disappears in the light. That's how it'll be for you. And you've got some new stuff coming in, and new connections that are shifting you up, which has been part of the plan for quite some time. You know, they move us up as we're ready, and you're going to have some new connections and ways of awareness and ways of interacting, and it's going to bring in some new any new awarenesses always bring in new ways of doing things or skills, if you want to call them that, and you're moving into that. And it may mean some things that you've been doing, groups that you've been working with, maybe even smaller individuals. You may notice some of that will fall away. And as I was mentioning earlier, it's with our low self, it just, part of us will want to hold on to it. Just take a moment and just, bless it. And if it's to be part of your life, it will continue. If it's not, it will fall away. And perhaps certain relationships will fall away, certain interactions you had.
Interesting. I've been feeling a bit of a change coming. So
Yeah, it's here.
yeah, thank you. I will enjoy hearing who's left and then starting at the beginning.
Oh, that'll be good. You're good. I'm so glad you made it. I was wondering, I know how sometimes trying to get back, one never knows what we're going to run into traffic-wise.
Exactly. So I'm thrilled I was able to meet and be here with everyone. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, Franny, you're here. So anything to share? Any thoughts? Anything at all?
Hi, it's wonderful to be here. I'm just coming in from Tennessee and I haven't even gotten home yet. So I'm like 10 minutes from my house, but this was closer and I didn't want to miss the call. So here I am. I'm feeling really good. Like physically, I haven't felt this good in a long time. So I'm really grateful for that. It just feels wonderful. And I do have two questions, and they're completely unrelated. One is that I went to a women's retreat a few weekends ago, and Ivy was there. She knows this women's retreat, and I truly believe that the energy of the Divine Mother is there. That we're anchoring that, we're bringing in a lot of light, and we're anchoring the Divine Mother. And it's an amazing group of women that are they're smart, they're creative, they're wise. And so that weekend just fills me up. I just feel so blessed to be able to go. And then gosh, I can't even remember when it was. I think it was last weekend. I went to another conference, and it also was with people that are very kind and compassionate and want to do good work in the world. And the energy was quite a bit different. And so my question for you is, can you help me name the energy of the second conference? Like, I just don't know how to describe it, but I'm aware that it was very different from the first, although they both are seeking spirit and anchoring light. So I don't know. Anyway, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
Well, first I want to go back and talk about the first one. And, the
Okay.
divine light of the mother, that's what I'm going to call it, because it's so bright. It was so bright coming in from the divine mother, just bright white and some other things, colors too. But anyway, just really coming in, and it was appropriate for that group. Okay. So then it's wonderful. And the divine mother and the feminine is, the universe is, that is the body of, of the mother. And I'm supposed to mention this again. We've talked about it before, but for those who may not be aware, in any spiritual belief system, Joseph Campbell called those a mythology because however you want to call it, when the top god is a goddess, a feminine, her body is the earth, in this case, the universe. The feminine, that's what I was talking about, why things end up manifesting so much with women, females, in their body. Energetic events cause that because of the identity with creation itself. And so that was this light coming in was just really fostering this connection with the divine mother, and that whole connection to not only just spirit, but beyond the awareness that many people probably had there of the essence of creation itself. There was some that going on there. I can really clearly see it. It's foundational, and those who were aware of it were, and those who may not have been, although they missed it, they were certainly experiencing it. Now this one, the word that came in, and I don't even know why it came in this way, it's like an adjunct energy of the mother. and it had to do with the kinds of work and energies that are happening there. And it was appropriate for that group. It didn't, I don't like to use higher and lower because that has a judgment to it, but it was energies that were more appropriate for that group than the first one. The first one was super high intensity energies coming in. Although there were some higher energies coming in, these were some very functional energies of the Divine Mother. That's what I want to call it. And those came in, and some other energies as well, some universe energies, but it was of the feminine essence, this feminine type. And it really was to facilitate their skills, their gifts, their skills, what they do, in a very practical, spiritual way. Whereas the other one, the first one was very high, and it's going to culminate in, although it's bringing in, it's working and growing them too, it's a different way. So that's how I would describe it. One's more etheric, ethereal, and higher, that as it sinks in and then, gets integrated into the person, it will, manifest in all the different ways, but it's really shifting them up. This was growing them in their skill set they have, and then once they grow, the second one was then to move them up. It's not the same process. Does that make sense? Grow them where they're at, and then because this group needed that for whatever reason, that was kind of the paradigm of this. There were several facets to it, but I'm going to oversimplify it. And then once that happens with these group, move them up. It's kind of doing it's the same thing, only different kind of a thing. Different, two different energies doing things different ways, but ultimately, as things evolve and unfold, they're going to move to a similar place. But they were different because they needed to be different. I'm going to just say it that way. So that's how I would describe it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. That helps me to understand. And one of the phrases you used was that the other one was like an adjunct of the first one. And like you said, it similar but different kind of thing, like the energy was different, more skill-based. And as they increase their skills, then that's going to move them up higher.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the difference between, and this is not a very good example, but let's say we have two spiritual groups. One is a PhD, seminar, and we've got a whole bunch of that kind of thing going on. Those energies are coming in. And the other one is more of a vocational, do it, the rubber meeting the road kind of a thing for their inner growth. And that's the adjunct, but it has linkages to the other one. But they're starting it here because that group, that's what they needed. Those that were gathered there, they were called to be there because those energies are going to best serve the group and as well as each individual. And then for each one, as they're ready, they will grow individually in their connection up. And then that'll happen as the unfoldment in their life happens.
Okay.
What you just said was accurate. I'm just elaborating a little bit more. Yeah. And it's hard to put words to, I don't know about for these things, these energies, they have an essence to them. But it's hard to, we can spend all day talking about them, but it's hard to, trying to kind of, hold on to jello kind of a thing. It's just sometimes it's really challenging to talk about it coherently, with a left brain kind of emphasis. So, but both very powerful, each in their own way. I'll be curious to see if you ever hear back from others that went to that second group, how the unfoldment in their life happens, because I think some things are going to happen for them because they're getting some very useful energies that can be applied right away in their life. Whereas the others are going to come in, absorb, then solidify, and then integrate, and then but manifest in a complete from high to low and with greater height and depth and scope. But it's just a. I'm going to leave it at that. Unless you have another question, then maybe I can be more specific.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm getting kind of,
I
I'm getting into my spiritual physicist mode, and that gets everybody lost. So I'm going to just be quiet at this point.
Okay. Um, well, I'll switch to my trip to Tennessee. It was wonderful to see my nephew Robert there, and his wife Serena.
Hmm.
And the two kids are 13 and 10, and it was wonderful to spend time with the kids. And, I think it kind of, I think it was good for them. I think they were like, oh, Aunt Franny, we never see you. So we just had a really, really great time. And for my nephew, his work has been inconsistent. So when he works, he makes good money, but the work has been inconsistent and he's under quite a bit of financial stress.
Hmm.
And he, to me, he seems like he's depressed and, like he's worried. And I do think he's got some blinders on about some things,
Yes. Yeah.
Um, and I guess my question is just, I think he's more depressed than he's letting on. I'll say it that way.
Hmm.
My question is just, how can I best love and support him and love and support the family? Like what? How do I want to stay in my lane, right? How do I best love and support him and the family?
Well, I'll answer that in just a second. But you're right, he is more depressed. He keeps that inside,
Say that again.
he
Say that
is.
again.
Yeah, he is a bit more depressed. He is. He's frustrated too.
Yeah.
He's got a frustration because he's keeps wanting to have these things, this movement happen, get things moving, and have it continue moving. And it ties to, and I think we may have talked about it in the past, some of the lessons he has to learn and things to let go of. And we've talked about those. And I'll leave it at that. I think you'll know what they are if you think about it. He, and that's why it keeps happening. But how you can help him, and this is from his high self, is that if he communicates with you and asks a question, the question you answer may not be the question he asks, the information you provide or the insight, but it'll be, you're going to have insights into pathways that are available to him that he's going to focus over here, whatever it is that is, and you're going to see the pathway that he's being guided to, and you're going to be able to illuminate that to him to where he can see, whereas he can see the possibility that he can get the thing that he's seeking while doing that kind of a thing, while following this path that you're seeing and that you're sharing with him. That's part of his more illuminated path. It's kind of gently steering him in those directions. So when those opportunities come, and it looks like there's going to be some in the next few months, probably maybe sooner. I mean, within the next few months, could be next week. I don't know. But as he talks, and that's where it needs to be, because that is part of his lesson, is to learning to recognize these things rather than his old patterns of trying to obtain financial securities in the way that he has done in the past.
Learning to recognize opportunities or learning to recognize when it's guidance from above?
Yeah, well, yeah, opportunities in the form of the guidance and the light that's shining in his path, and how to recognize those indicators that show up in his life, those little nuanced things that you and most of us on the spiritual path, we recognize when something happens, like, ooh, I need to pay attention to that. That's little thing is a big thing. We know that because we've had the experience. Those kinds of things. He's just growing into that. Believe it or not, he's got the ability to do this. He just needs to learn how to turn on that inner sensor to start using and seeing it and following it, and to recognize that path of light that doesn't look like it's going to provide the thing that he's seeking, indeed it's the very thing that's going to provide the thing that he's seeking. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we're looking for short-term instant satisfaction, which he tends to do, and rather than the longer, I'll say longer, the year or the 9 months to a year it'll take following this other path, slowly building it to where all of a sudden 9 months later it's viable and it has opportunities, it has roots that can grow, and it has a pathway to move forward. Rather than what he does is he gets waves down these things and he shuts them off and then goes and looks for the next thing. In the past, he's done that. I don't know if he's still doing that or not, but he's done that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know you know that, but that is what his high self and his higher guidance, and actually now your higher guidance would use you for to do, and we use you as a vehicle of that information, of that insight, and you have a way of communicating with him that he can hear you. Are you aware of that?
It seems kind of hit or miss, you know?
Yeah, but he picks up. It'll look like he hasn't picked up on it, but the reality is that I'm seeing as you share something, he may have at the outer level looks like it's being bounced off, but at the inner level it's getting absorbed a bit. It's slowly absorbing into that sponge of his inner awareness, and if he can just flow with things in that manner, it'll be good for him, and it'll take a bit of faith for him to do that. Keep moving forward. It doesn't mean he can't take advantage of other opportunities that are short term that are going to bring in monies and whatever else he needs to keep the family moving forward and and financially secure. But to have that longer term thing, and it's there for him. It looks like there's something coming up. If it isn't already in his life, it's coming up for him to be able to find or discover or pursue. I'm not sure how that will manifest for him, but that's so your assessment and what you just shared, but up front though, I wanted to confirm that is all accurate. Your assessment of where he is and how he he's depressed. And again, he's also, I don't know how much frustration you sense, but he has an inner frustration. Why isn't this stuff continue? You can't figure out why it doesn't keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and he's with one outfit that he feels like it sounds like they're good for him because they've got a structure, and I think he does better with that. But I think part of him, maybe this relates to what you just said of how he'll just quit and walk away or close the door and on to the next thing.
Yep.
And so, I mean, he's really grown in his skills and marketability since I've seen him last, which would be about 2 years, I think. I think it's been 2 years since I was there. And he's learned so much more and is more, so anyway, he's able to do more. His skills have expanded, his knowledge has expanded, but he's frustrated by the lack of work. So I think he thinks that he could just leave those guys and go out on his own. But on his own, he's not as organized. And I don't know that he has the skills to set up the business to be successful. He has the skills to set up the company to go job by job, but I don't know that he has the skills to really, the words you've used, be in it for the long haul, be in it for the long term. Like, I think he's very focused on the short term. So, and I'm not making a judgment on whether he should stay with these guys or not. But I am observing that when I compare what he was doing on his own with what he's doing now, I think he's doing better with the structure that these two other partners have provided. So maybe that can be a springboard onto something else. I don't know. And he may not even be aware of how much better it is for him. I did talk with him today about how much his knowledge and skills have grown since I've seen him, in the last 2 years, that he's really learned a lot about the construction business and all phases of it, and, just a ton of stuff. So anyway, all of that's very helpful. And I really appreciate what you said about, helping to illuminate the path. I mean, that feels like a that feels like something, and help him to sense like, is this my path or is that my path? Yeah, I'd love to help shine the light for him or hold the light for him when he's not sure what to do. So
Yeah, and it appears
yeah,
to me, what they're showing me is that that is something that they have for you to do and that he's receptive to do. And just by the way, well-rounded is what his inner self said was his skill set's more well-rounded. And what your other thing is you don't know that he can do it on his own. He's not. He has the knowledge on how to do all those things. He just does not have the discipline and the vision. I don't know if the vision is the right word, but he doesn't have the discipline and the stay with itness, tenacity to stick with it longer term to do it. And he is, and you are correct. And you said you were not sure he is aware how much he benefits being with him. He has some awareness that he recognizes that it is good for him to be there, but he doesn't recognize the full extent of how good it is for him to be there. Even with the pluses and minuses that go with being with that company. And it may be for him to stay there, maybe some other opportunity that comes up, and where, you become aware of it, or as he talks to you, you'll have the insight because you're very connected on these things. And they're going to provide you with, when that happens, they're going to provide you with what you need to have to share with him, and help him again recognize and identify those indicators of the past that are for him, and to stay with them, to grow that over longer term. And so I get, yes, I think with all that's been said, that's what serves him best, and hopefully, and it looks like he has grown a lot and is more inclined to do so. If he can just have the faith of the vision to know that even though things will ebb and flow, longer term, it's going to, as time goes on and things unfold, that's going to move it. When he's with a company for any length of time, then he becomes that valued asset that's going to be there. They're going to have the work when things are available. It'll become more and more steady for him. It's just like with any company, you start out, and wherever you start out, next thing you know, as you learn more skills, you become invaluable, and you're the person that they can't let go.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So. Wow.
Okay,
I
well,
feel like this is a positive.
thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying thank you very much. Thank you. That's very
Welcome.
helpful.
Yeah, and it feels like this was such a good trip for you to be there for them, and for him to have you there. I think more than you know. They're showing me that there was a lot of light coming through. Just while you were there, because you're there and you're bringing it through and allowing, how when we allow ourselves to be vessels of light for others, and that was certainly happening while you were there and also coming through you for them, not just for him, but for the whole family. Yeah.
We had fun. Thank you, Jeff. No, that's it.
Well, thank you. Well, I am so glad he has you in his life. I just feel like that is something that, because of your unique skills and abilities, you can really help if he's open to hearing, and he does listen to you more than you may be aware, that it can help him become more solid in following that illuminate the path that waits for him. There's a path of light I can see it. They're showing it to me. There's definitely path of light for him to follow, and for his highest good and for that of his family. So anyway, I'll leave it alone. That's it. I just think it's a wonderful thing, that whole trip for you. So thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Great to be here.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you. And now, Pat, you're the one You wanted to
I'm
be
the
last, but absolutely not least. So, what do you have to share?
well, I just want to say that the longer this spiritual family went on this evening, the more energy started traveling up my legs and up my body and just put me in this really quite a high space. And which is very interesting with all the shifts of the ups and downs in the past week or so since, well, there's been so many. And there was one or two times where I just was absolutely knocked down, where I had to just, no matter what I was doing, go lay down.
Mhm.
And I feel very much like I can relate to what Paula said this evening, some of what she said. It's just like, I'm done. I'm so done with a lot of this. And then, so whatever you have to say to me about that, and then after I'm done, Chris would like to speak a little bit.
Okay. The only thing I have to share right now is that this is a particular portion of your life plan where you're doing, in this immediate period, let's call it, where you're processing through and you're connecting some new energies, but letting some older stuff go. And part of you is holding on to some of it, but it seems to be moving. And it is for you to be done with it, so that you can move in to the newer patterns and energies that are awaiting. But part of it is not just you, it's all the people that are around you as well. So you're into a little bit, I don't, want to use the word holding space, but you're part of the energetic, I'm going to call it holding space for all these things to happen. Not only for yourself, but for Chris and for John and for others that and are part of your, our spiritual family and your spiritual family that you, when you're ready to let it go, it'll be gone. And that is the process that you're in. And it's happening gently, and it looks like you would probably think slowly, and it probably is happening slowly because it needs to happen this way. Okay. But the new energies are awaiting. But when the energies have moved on, new patterns are going to move into your life, into your worldly life, your spiritual life, your inner awareness life, and probably relationships as well. Just so you know, it's all part of it, and it's a good thing. But you know how it is for us at the human level. As these things happen, we're good, and all of a sudden things change, and then the low self says, "Oh my goodness, what's happening here?" So just know there might be some of that along with it as well. That's going to be part of as it goes, and the new energy moves in, and it feels different and new, and nothing's things don't feel as familiar, and our low self's inclination oftentimes is to want to hold it back in, and we'll just nail that down and we won't let it go, but it's time for it to go. So that's what you're in, and that's what you're doing.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris, do you want to sit here?
Chris?
Chris and I are going to change chairs.
Okay, we'll see.
Then I see you.
Well, thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Hello.
Hello, Chris. So what's happening?
So a lot's been releasing, and I mean it's quite chaotic to go through a lot of times, and emotional, and I had a few breakdowns, and then a lot of really good stuff came out of that. I have a lot of gratitude for that. I actually got really connected with people, and haven't felt so isolated, but also I feel like my spiritual work and my spirituality, and like my spirituality is the most important part of my life
Mm-hmm.
in ways, and I feel like it's so much more in alignment that it's actually able to go in the right direction and flow more correctly, and more beneficially to not only myself but the whole existence. And I do feel like there's some big parts that I am playing and will be playing in this process the earth and the universe and all of us are going through right now. And I had some questions about that, like I don't even know the words for them, but maybe you could get some insight out of that. And then also, uh, oh, there was just I went really deep in the beginning of this call, using some methods that I'm working with different spiritualities and processes. And I went really, really deep and also used the deeper and deeper into theta and delta brainwaves of your highest light and love, all that. But I combined multiple methods together and I was in a really good space, doing a lot of good work. But as we went down the line, when we got closer to the end, and I don't know if that was anticipation for when I was gonna talk or speak or anything, but I don't really feel that it was that. I feel it might have been some kind of spiritual connection or something that needed to be released and worked through. I started getting itchy all over and agitated, and I had to go smoke a cigarette. Came back in, got more mellow, and now I feel quite a bit better. Like a lot of that was released, and some of the maybe I don't even know if it's like soul ties from past lives or whatever were cut, and some of the forgiveness or whatever. I don't really know. So that's kind of what I'm curious about right now. I do have a lot of questions about the materialistic and joyful, happy, beneficial things about life, but I don't feel like it's really appropriate at this time.
Well, I can basically, what they're showing me as you were talking, because we can talk about this just in general. You're at a point right now, where you're in a position where you can start rehoning and connecting with your true spiritual self. You want to call it your high self, your divine. I can see that. And it's going to help move you slowly. They take things at a pace that is appropriate. Sometimes at the conscious level, especially with spiritual people, they always think it's too slow, but it's not. You're moving into some light and it's clearing some things away. And you're going to be going through periods of this, just so you know. I don't want you to be dismayed. You're going to have some stuff come up and it might make you sad or melancholic because you're releasing it, okay? And as it's being released, you're processing it and you're experiencing it. And we just know that these are things you're letting go of. These aren't things that have to do with who you are now. And you got a whole, just a whole bunches of different kinds of stuff that's accumulated over this lifetime and in recent periods that have to be released in a certain way. The universe knows and your higher guidance knows what that is, and they're going to bring into some light and bring in some new energies, and that'll help dissolve things, new connections being made, and then those connections will then be there to support you as more stuff comes up to be released. And you're going to be going through a bunch of that. And that's going to continue in waves. You know how it is. We go up and then it plateaus and then it feels like we sink a little bit because we have some things happen, and then some more goes up. And so you're going to be doing that. And what you're talking about with all the different skills and abilities, what you're being guided to find is that connection with your true self and who you are as a being. And that determines, once we just being who we are naturally with all the stuff removed, allows us, no matter what we're doing, to be our true self, to be of service to others, and to walk our own path. And you're in that phase right now, and it's going to be going for a while because you have a bunch of clutter, as we all do. We have stuff come up that needs to be released. It's just time for it to be gone. But it has to happen in a certain way, and it's so much at a time so it doesn't overwhelm you, and it's emotional enough sometimes anyway as it is. So, but it's a great thing. This is what's happening. And just so you know, you are on that path of connecting with yourself, your true self, to know more about yourself, to have insights about yourself, your own path, those things that are for you and those things that are not for you. We learn both. We learn this is for me, and that thing over there might be interesting and it might be good for all those other people, but right now this isn't for me.
Yeah.
And respecting that and letting it be. Maybe it'll be something for another time, maybe for another lifetime, but right now, whatever it is, it's not for it's you're identifying those things that are for you, not for you. You're making the connections and releasing the stuff, and as you do, more and more stuff gets released. It gets rid of that clutter, and it allows us to have a greater energetic flow within ourselves to know what to do next. You know, they talk about this. You know, the spiritual path is like driving across country at night. Your headlamps only illuminate the first 500 feet, but we're going to go 3,000 miles. That's what you're doing right now. Just be focused on what they're showing you now. Try not to let your mind get ahead of yourself, because we all do that. You can do that. And just flow with it as it comes up. Become aware of it, what we're to do with it, release it, connect with it, whatever it is this thing is that comes in, and then keep moving on. And you'll just keep flowing and growing as you do that.
A big thing that's come up is the seeker inside me, the seeker that is always seeking something to, and I started working with that, and um some different parts of myself, and then my high self, so that the parts of myself will not be like, I don't know how to really put it, but like upset with me, and not relay to the high self what I'm trying to accomplish, or spiritually, or even financially, or with well-being. And so this seeker, I notice it now all the time, and it's constantly, I'll see a piece of paper, and look at it, and then the next thing you know, I'm trying to go somewhere else. And so I'm trying to put those pauses, like I learned with Eckhart Tolle's stuff, the pauses between the thoughts, and slowly stretch those out over time. And so I'm trying to put those pauses in there so that I can uh well, it's not really a necessity to be always seeking, and there's benefits to it at certain times, but it's hard to hear the clear guidance when the I guess you might call it the ego, or the will, maybe, is trying to always go somewhere, yeah.
That has to do with why they're having you, guiding you to connect with yourself, to have that longer connection. And the low self will have you go all over the place.
Hmm.
And it'll sometimes pretend, in the Bible, it talks about those that are lesser, the lesser forces will look like angels. That's also true within us. So we have the lesser ego self, you can call it low self, whatever you want to call it.
Is that lower than the conscious self?
Yeah, it's part of your subconscious, and it's part of what
Oh,
some of it you're aware of, some of it you're not. But what I just heard from your high self was one step at a time.
right.
Otherwise, you're going to be pinging around the machine.
Yeah.
Okay, and just keep it. And it's hard and I know it's a challenge for lots of people, especially because we're have all these things, these awarenesses. Notice them, bless them, but stay connected with that connection of who you are, what you're to do in the moment, and go with that. Now, the itchiness you talked about was your frequency rising, and that what happens is in the physical body, as the physical bodies, the energy of our physical body, you could say the spiritual energy of our physical bodies, it raises the cells themselves. And I've known about this, it happened years and years ago. We start to itch because the body is beginning to raise frequency. So at this point, I feel like what I'm getting for you is just what we just discussed, is that needs, and it is your focus. Just connect with the essence of yourself, let things flow out, and try to just keep as, focused on the nature of who you are, and just let things that you do throughout the day be an expression of that. And of course, your mind is going to ping around a little bit, but just, bless it and send it so that things can naturally be released. New connections can be made as your life is unfolding.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's kind of a tall order sometimes, but you're doing it. So just keep it up. All right. Wow. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you. All right, and Pat's back. Wow.
And
Well, at this point, I don't even know what time it is. Wow, it's 8:20. Boy, time flies when we just, we start talking, and it's amazing the things that happen. And we've all talked about this before, but we have some new people. The beauty of it happens when we come together like this, when two or more are gathered in my name kind of a thing. Well, when all of us are together, we each have our own energetic connection to the divine, our own spiritual connection, if you will. And those energies flow through us, and we become vessels of light for everyone else. And that's what happens when we're together like this in a group. All of us are bringing energy, and we're all sharing it with one another, and it just spirals up, and all kinds of things happen that wouldn't happen if we didn't come together. So with that thought, I'm going to go around as we always do and get in with each person and share any last thoughts or anything. And I'm going to start this time. I'm starting with Marci. So Marci, before we close for this evening, any last thoughts, questions, anything at all?
I would say this has probably been the strongest continuous energy of any call. Really palpable. So thank you. It's really, really beautiful.
Wow. Thank you for being here. We just have, our higher guidance in the divine, the universe to thank for all this coming through. All this, I'm a firm believer. Just be open. What is it they teach in kindergarten, in Bible study? Let go and let God kind of a thing. I truly believe in that. Just let it all flow. So thank you. I'm always wound up after this. I don't know about everybody else. I can't go to sleep for like 2 hours because it takes me a while to let all the energies flow. So thank you very much, Marci. And now, Paula, do you have anything at all? Any questions, comments, anything to share?
Just a big hug to everyone. And I agree with
Yeah,
Marci.
there we
The
go.
energies are just so wonderful. Thank
Oh,
you to everyone that shares the energies with us and all the thoughts. So that's it.
thank
Thank you.
you. Blessings, blessings. Oh, my goodness. Oh, okay, Eryn, any last thoughts, anything to share, anything at all before we close?
I don't think so. Yeah, it's just nice to be here again. I missed a couple, so yeah. Look forward to next month.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. I'm always, when we talk about things that are coming up, I'm always excited to see how it's going to unfold in each person's life. So I'm going to be curious to see what's happening, not only for you and your daughter, but just spiritually, all the flow. So thank you.
Yeah. And if I'm not here, I'm in India.
Okay, keep that in mind. Thank you. All right, Ivy, any last thoughts, questions, anything at all?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, good. I had apologized. I had to move to my phone. My computer wasn't working, and I was trying to tell you that Franny was going to be late, and Paula was on, but she was going to be late, but you guys couldn't hear me. So I apologize to you, Franny and Paula. I tried to relay the message. My computer was not. Um, I wasn't sure what to expect out of any of this, and I found it to be very unique. And it was really cool because it was like spot on, spot on, spot on. I'm like, wow, this is really amazing. Um, I didn't share some things that I had wanted answers to, mainly because I think I wanted to figure out what this was all about and how to do it. Do you have time, or
Yep, yep,
should
yeah,
I wait
sure.
till
Go
next
ahead and
month?
ask, please. That's what it's for. That's why we have this final go through, because we usually think about things after the fact. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I have, I work with a lot of people. I help a lot of people, and while I'm doing that, I have my own character defects that I get to cleanse, renew, heal, whatever I get to work on. So I've had people in the past who sometimes when their energy, there's an energy that I couldn't write really. It always felt like an attacking energy, and sometimes their actions were that way. And I would just be like, okay, I don't need to deal with these people anymore or this person anymore and stop working with them. However, I'm finding that I do that so often that it's just like picking people off. And it's like, I finally find out latest one that has happened with again, or latest one, I should say, and find out that there's the person having jealousy towards me, and this is why I'm feeling it as a personal attack. I didn't know, I never understood. I just thought it was sickness. Well, I guess that is a part of sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've decided, okay, instead of just throwing people off, into the darkness and not helping them anymore, maybe it's time I show them what it feels like to be unconditionally loved. And because if the person is feeling jealousy or envy, I know I've felt it towards people in the past, and I know it's because I don't love myself enough at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to figure out how to just be really unconditionally loving towards this person, help them love themselves, accept themselves. But there's this nagging thought in the background that says, are you trying to help somebody that doesn't want to be helped? And so, do you see that? What do you see?
Okay, may not be what you're expecting. So,
Okay.
all right. So, a couple things, and these are things you may already be doing, but and I have one more thing I have to bring up because your high self asked me to mention it to you. Obviously, when we're working with people, it's so important that we keep our energy field separate from theirs, so that we don't get their stuff. And you probably already do it because you work with spiritual work, but keep us in a bubble of light, keep rings around the wrists and that sort of thing. That's not the main thing. I'm going to mention it now so I don't, because I start talking, have you heard about acrocords? Are you familiar with those?
I
AKA,
guess
there's it's from the sacred Huna teachings of Hawaii, but you just go online. And we even have stuff on our website, shaysholistics.com. It talks about acrocords.
okay.
You're having those things connect, and they connect at the lower, they can connect anywhere in the body. They typically connect at the solar plexus, but they're often the first and second chakras, and they deal with our own energies from the similar energies that they have of our own, you could say insecurities, our own unresolved stuff get connected, and it pushes our buttons, and that's what's happening with you. And you can cut these things, and they have a real simple way to do it. And again, you can go on our website, and one of there are written articles. You just type acrocord, you'll find it. Or there's other ones out on the web as well, and they can tell you how. But you can cut these cords, and you can keep the shield of light around you so that you don't get their stuff. Part of why this is happening for you is, yes, to show unconditional love. You're approaching a point where you've got some stuff that it's time for it to be gone. And you're actually in the process, you've been in the process for a while doing it. As part of your own work helping others, it's just your work of releasing some of the stuff. And it's been there for a while because I've come to realize, and my higher guidance always shares that these things happen when they need to happen. We can be aware of things for quite a long time, and all of a sudden when the time is right, it gets released. So that's part of what you're to do. But yes, to show unconditional love for others, but also for yourself, for you. And that's an important thing for you. More than you know. I think you know quite a bit, and there's more than that even. So you have a lot of awarenesses. You have an incredible, I'll call it spiritual suite of things that you do and know. It's wonderful. But it's left over from, I don't know if you, I try not to get into past lives because people talk about it and then some people believe in them, so other people don't. But let's just say there's some unresolved things from the past that it's getting time for them to be aware, to be blessed into the light and let go of. And that's the process you're in right now. And so my answer to you would be yes, show unconditional love towards others, to yourself, to release these things. In a more practical sense, what you can do right now is, if you probably already do the bubbles of light, the gold rings around the wrists, when you bring yourself in, everything just falls away. We have one of the things, we have an exercise where we do the grounding chakras from the heart go to the center of the earth, and then also connection to our high self. And you can find that out there. I think Deborah did one of these grounding connections. It's a fantastic exercise, and it's been borrowed from, it's been evolved from some of the Huna teachings, the sacred Huna teachings from Hawaii, but it's also from just other people I've met, and it's evolved into this, and it seems to work for most people, but see what works for you. But the ACA course will really help you because you have got some right now, and they need to get cut. And when you do, it instantly releases the energy. You get your energy back, the other person gets theirs, and it's a blessing for both. And that'll be something that will be very useful for you right off the bat right now. And as you do that, some stuff's going to fall away for you pretty quickly after you cut the ACA cords. And I think some new awarenesses that you're going to have, I'm going to call it waves of awarenesses start coming in for you. They are going to give you the insights that you're seeking. You've already got the connection. So that's what they would like you to do now.
Okay.
Is there anything else, or did I miss anything here? There's more for you, but they don't want me to say anything right now. I have to tell you, I have a non-poker face. I will tell you, I get stuff. You're going to know I got stuff. And then they tell me not to tell you. And so I apologize for that, but I'm doing my best. My friend Kay, who Pat knew, she was the ultimate poker face. She could tell you right there, no, I don't have anything else. And I knew, I could see it. She had it, wasn't going to share it. And I came to respect that because when we get stuff when we're not, as you know, we get stuff before we're ready, it's really not a good thing for us. But that's what they want you to do right now. And boy, you're going to have some stuff fall away, some new things come in that are going to answer you. Basically, you've got the connection to the answer to the questions that you're seeking. So you're already there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Yeah, this has been fantastic.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Maybe we'll see you again next month if you're called to be here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on. I've lost track of where I was, and we guess this happens when I start tuning. I lose track of where I was. Franny, have we already finished yet, or okay, we're good. Whew. Paula and Greg, any last thoughts? Anything at all to share before we close for this evening?
I was just wondering if anything came to you regarding the mine or my village project here, my tiny house project, or I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to move to from this tiny house project here in La Conner. I want to get some more sunshine. The sun comes off of this place, and
I know.
I need that sun.
I'll answer your question as you were talking. What I got was that you're doing all these different things. You've got so much stuff going on. But let's just talk about in this umbrella of all these things. The umbrella of your spiritual life is flowing, and all these different things are flowing, and you're becoming aware of what you need to know. And they want you to continue this, and just kind of, because part of what your awareness and the insights you're going to gain are going through the process that you're in right now. You're doing it. You're doing it, Greg.
Okay.
You're on it right now. Just keep.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
God bless you all. I'm grateful to be here and reconnect to you all.
Well, I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you're here. Maybe we'll see you again next month.
I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Blessings.
Thank you.
Last and certainly not least, super important, Pat, any last thoughts, questions, anything at all?
Blessings, light, and love to everyone that's on the call and that's been on the call.
Yes.
Love you lots.
Well, thank you, and just blessings and light to all of you. I just was
Thank you,
so glad, and
guys.
Chris, so glad you could be here. Just thank you all. It truly is a blessing when we're here for each other. Each of us, I guess, I'm a little bit of a broken record here, but we're just a channel of light for each other, and it just goes around and around, and it goes higher and higher, and things happen now, and then things happen afterwards because we came together, and it's so important that we do so. Blessings, light, and love to all of you. I'm going to keep my narrative on the post short because you know what? It's watching the video is the important part. So anyway, until next month, again, blessings, light, and love, and we'll see you then. I'm gonna
Night.
bye.